Mercy the Mad here, and today we've got a video about Arbaal the Undefeated, a free LC Lord for Khorne that's going to be added to the game with update 6.0 that comes out in a few days alongside the Omens of Destruction DLC. I'll just go over how you can use his unique Challenges of Khorne faction mechanic to fairly quickly dominate the whole map and win the short campaign victory, unlock the chainsword, which is probably the most powerful melee weapon in the game. I'm just going to talk a bit before I kind of get to it, but if you want to skip straight to the step-by-step guide, I'll put some chapters in so you can go straight to there. Arbaal's a really fun lord to use in battle. He's really tanky with really high base stats, but on top of that, he gets up to plus 20 additional melee defense when he's surrounded. You can also use this explosion ability to blow up infantry around him, and you can use Eye of Khorne to instantly delete any unit that goes under 20% health and summon in their place a unit of Chaos Spawn. On top of this solid stat line, he also has this unique Challenges of Khorne mechanic that allows him to teleport around the world attacking random enemy armies. And one of the side effects of that is that you can actually cherry pick lords that have good defeat traits, or even just generic enemy lords that might happen to be nearby to a lord that has a good defeat trait. This lord here is just a generic lord down in the Southlands, but if you wanted to teleport down here to get Wurzag's defeat trait, for example, you could teleport down here and then hunt down Wurzag, and then once you've killed Wurzag for his defeat trait, just teleport off to another location, perhaps over here, be nearby to Tyrion, hunt down Tyrion's defeat trait. You can see by turn 20, we've already taken out a bunch of legendary lords and claimed their defeat traits. But being able to hunt defeat traits is just sort of a side effect of his Challenges of Khorne mechanic. Really, you can use this mechanic to completely dominate the campaign. You can see here it's turn 20. We won the short campaign victory at some point and claimed the chainsword for Arbaal. We've got dozens of armies all around the world. All of these blood host armies kind of conquering different areas for us. Got 153,000 gold. So basically, you know, you very quickly get to the point where you've got like infinite gold, pretty much just printing armies all over the map, and yeah, you really get rolling quite fast. So you won't have access to this initially. You have to earn at least 5 Khorne's favor before you'll actually unlock this panel at the start of the game. Every battle with any of your armies gives you 1 Khorne favor. So once you get 5 Khorne's favor, then you will be able to choose some of these options. It'll cost you the amount of favor listed here to initially select it when you hit confirm, and at the end of every turn, it will cost you that much favor again. So when you first unlock this, when you get 5 favor, it's probably best that you don't activate any of these boons, because otherwise you're going to immediately run out of favor again. What I did in my first campaign was I just waited until I knew that I could reliably win 2 battles every single turn. You should be able to get to that point within the first few turns. So just don't immediately activate any boons on turn 2. Wait till turn 3 or 4 once you know that you've got enough armies in the right positions to be able to get 2 battles per turn. Then what I did was I activated this boon, Blood Shall Spill. It makes your army start tired at the start of each battle, so it's a debuff. All of your units will have a stat penalty from that. Additionally, I activated this one, Honor Before Reason. That means that whenever you fight a battle, the enemy will receive a little stat boost. And as well as that, I activated this boon here, Storms of War, which gives you plus 25% extra movement to your faction leader, to Arbaal, and plus 8% extra movement to all of your other armies. So Arbaal has a mechanic where he gets extra movement every time he fights a battle normally. It's 20% extra movement after winning a battle, and then he eventually upgrades that to 30% extra movement after winning a battle. So with that boon active, once you level up, he actually ends up having 55% extra movement every time he wins a battle. And that extra movement will just allow you to chain more battles together. So once I'd established this, Storms of War for 3, and Blood Shall Spill and Honor Before Reason for 2 extra, so for a total of 5 to initially set up and 5 per turn after that. And then instead of getting 1 favor per battle, you get 3 favor per battle. So you activate all this, go down to 0 favor, then you win 2 battles, get 6 favor back up, and over the end turn you'll lose 5 back down to 1. Next turn, win 2 battles again, And so then you can basically maintain this indefinitely, right? Try and fight as many extra battles as you can above those two, and you'll get extra Khorne's favor, and you'll keep like saving up more and more Khorne's favor. Then you can also pick and choose battles that are going to be like quite easy to fight at the start. So this battle is like a low difficulty battle. This one's meant to be a low difficulty battle as well. This one's meant to be low difficulty. These ones give you 5 Khorne favor, but they cost you 5 Khorne favor to travel to them. These ones are meant to be a little bit harder, but it sets the rating, whether it's going to be a 5, 10, or a 15 favor. It sets the rating when it first generates the challenge. But then if that challenge army gets into a battle and gets half destroyed, it might only have 3 units left in it by the time you actually do that challenge, and the challenge will remain there until the army actually gets destroyed. So what you can do, if you don't necessarily do that challenge straight away, you can sort of keep them there, wait till one of the harder challenges gets damaged, and then go and do them, and you'll get an extra reward. So normally you'd get 10 favor for this, but if you're operating with both of these boons going, Bloodshell Spill and Honor Before Reason, then you'll get an extra 10 on top of that. So instead of 10 favor, you'll spend 5 favor to teleport to the challenge, then you'll get 20 favor back for if you were completing this one, for example. So basically what you're doing at this point, at this phase, is you're using these 2 penalties to give you extra favor from every battle, 2 extra favor from every battle, and 10 extra favor every time you do a challenge. And you're picking and choosing and intentionally doing quite easy, weak battles, and quite easy battles that you know you're always going to win, and quite easy challenges that you're quite confident that you're going to win. And then basically what I did was I saved up about 70 Khorne's favor fairly rapidly by doing this, just because you're getting heaps of favor every time you fight every time you do a challenge, you're getting heaps of favor. Every battle you're getting, lots of favor. So you quickly save up about like a bunch. And then once you've got a decent amount, you probably don't need to save up 70. You could probably do it when you have like 30 really. Then you can switch out your boons. Then you want to take Storms of War and Terrors of Blood. So you got extra movement on your faction lord, extra movement on everybody else. Summons a blood host after every challenge, and 20% chance of summoning a blood host after every battle. And then you've actually got a free slot. You can keep the 3rd slot empty to make it cheaper in favor, to make it easier to maintain. Sometimes you might want to put on Vultures of Slaughter to create cults everywhere. The cults can be good because if you ever need to teleport somewhere specific, somewhere that you've been before, there'll be a cult there probably from when you did a challenge there, and you can just build the teleport cult building to take your lord to that location. So you make sure you have the boons activated. You want Storms of War and Terrors of Blood. And you can grab Vultures of Slaughter as well if you think you can maintain 11 per turn. Then you choose a challenge that should be pretty easy. So we'll choose this one for Mazdamundi. But you're not just choosing an easy challenge, you also want to be able to chain a bunch of battles. So you can only do 1 teleport per turn. So you want to try and teleport to a target-rich environment. So Arbaal can just go on a rampage, and then next turn teleport somewhere else and go on another rampage. So here we've got 2 Mazdamundi armies. There's the challenge army that we need to defeat to complete the challenge. There's also another army here, and there's a settlement. So we can first attack this other secondary army here. And this is why getting Lightning Strike early for Arbaal is so important. We could just fight both these armies at the same time, but if we Lightning Strike it, and then again we could just auto-resolve this, but if we actually fight it manually, we can Lightning Strike it and then get 2 battles out of this one army. So I'll just quickly fight this manually. Every battle gives us a chance to spawn a blood host. We actually got a blood host from that first battle. The remnants of the army is still there, so we can follow up, destroy the remnant army as well. Didn't get a blood host that time, but that's okay. We've replenished a lot of our movement. Now we go after Mazdamundi. He was up against the coast, so he can't retreat and gets destroyed. Did create another blood host though. And finally, we declare war on this settlement as well.
Disagree with that. I must
Get another battle out of that. Sack that, so we've still got our movement left. Didn't get another blood host, unfortunately. But yeah, we've now got 2 blood hosts. One from completing the challenge automatically, and another one from 20% chance from one of those battles. And also we got 4 battles. So we got four Khorne's favor from the 4 battles, plus the favor for defeating the Mazdamundi challenge army. And then we've still got extra movement left. So if there was another army or another settlement in range, we could go after that as well. If there's no other targets in range, then you just want to occupy the settlement as well. Or you can raise it instead of sacking it if you know that you're not going to be able to make it to anything if you don't have enough skulls. You just have to make sure that you're not in enemy territory so that next turn you can teleport out to another target. If you complete a challenge each turn plus chain a few other armies together, Arbaal should be able to earn enough Khorne's favor to keep all of your boons active just by himself. But additionally to that, he's going to be creating all these blood hosts everywhere as he teleports around the map. Before I end the video, I'll do a detailed walkthrough of my first few turns, as there are a few things you can do to really get the ball rolling a lot faster. If you do these exact moves on turn 1 and 2, you can get a little bit of a head start and get a little bit further ahead than you otherwise would. So move towards this lord, but get ready to hit backspace. So you can just hit backspace to stop your movement, and just stop just before you get there, and then put this hero into your army, and then fight this battle manually, trying to be careful so you don't take too much damage. Just for this example, I'm just going to put the battle difficulty on easy, so it's still got campaign on legendary and everything, but just to simulate us fighting the battle carefully. Fight the battle carefully, hopefully don't take too much damage. You take some replenishment if you want. Arbaal will level up, but don't spend a skill point, not yet. And then I'm going to raise a blood host from this settlement here. So using the new skull throne mechanic, you can get a bunch of different boons and stuff. In this case, we're going to do this. So a blood host is going to get 2 additional units. Grab that. Now, you don't actually need to backspace for this to work, but I'll show you the backspacing, different backspacing technique. But important thing at this point is don't spend your skill points. So Arbaal's leveled up, don't spend that skill point.
I am an army.
Now we attack this settlement, and you can practice your backspacing again. But basically you attack this settlement, and I've lined up the settlement in this direction intentionally, so that when after you sack or raise a settlement, your character will kind of retreat away in the direction that you attacked from. So I'm sort of lining it up so that I can use this backspace technique. But right now, I'm not going to use the backspace, but I'll switch to another save where I did use it and show you what I mean. So we got to resolve this battle, and then we do blood for the blood god, and I'm not going to backspace. I'm just going to let him retreat the full distance. All right, so you end up there, right? And this is summoned a blood host here as well. Now, if you check the movement, you can move to there. We're going to put itself in force march, and now we can move to here. So we're just sort of just behind where the blood host spawned. We didn't quite make it to the blood host. But that's partially because this hero that we joined, he doesn't have as much movement as our army does. So if we just move him out, well, actually, we can just check the distance, the direction that we're going to. So that's where we're going to walk. So we want to move the hero out, but not in our path. We don't want the hero to block our movement path, right? So just move this guy out, and we'll just put him over here. Again, you can just backspace him so it doesn't move too far. And then you just check, so we can still move unhindered, right, in that direction. And we can get to like just about here, like just past the blood host. But if we spend a point in Route Marcher, we'll get an extra 5%. But if you put this point into Route Marcher before you raise the settlement, you won't get the extra movement afterwards. You've got to wait until after you raise it and then put the point in. And now you can see we can move quite a bit fast here. So we're just going to move up towards this. That's the kind of path that we want to go along. And that tiny bit of extra distance will be just enough that we'll be able to take out the ogre camp and take the province capital on turn 2. I'll just pause here and go back and show you this backspace movement trick. You don't need to do it here, but this is just a good spot for me to use as an example, as if you can master backspacing, it's really helpful in maximizing Arbaal's movement. So we're back to just before we raise the settlement. I've turned the map so that it's lined up. Get ready to left click on Arbaal as soon as I raise the settlement. Spam left click on Arbaal to select him, and then spam backspace at the same time to stop his movement. Make sure you're in slow mode for campaign movement. If Arbaal's moving really fast, Press R to put him to slow mode before you try and backspace. Move the hero out, put a point in Route Marcher, and then you can see that he can actually force march quite a bit further than he could before. It might not seem like much, but a couple of hexes can be the difference between making it to your next battle or not. Now, the retreat after you sack or raise a settlement is free. It doesn't cost any of your movement allowance. So if you want to bounce off and continue moving back the way you came from, you don't need to backspace. Just take that extra movement and then continue moving that direction. But if you want to keep moving forward past the settlement, it's going to give you a little bit extra if you can backspace to retreat as little as possible. Okay, backspacing 101 is complete. Whether you do the backspace or not here, move your hero up to follow your army, upgrade the forge and build the Skull Harvester building in Stormvrak Mount, then recruit a new lord here and a couple of Chaos Warriors. Turn 2, force march your second lord towards Tribe Slaughter. Move Arbaal into position to attack Pillar of Skulls. Keep tapping backspace until he's just within the red circle, but not actually attacking. Put your hero back into the army and move your Bloodhost army to the edge of the red circle to reinforce, but move it along the road towards Karak Dum so you don't waste any movement. I'd fight this battle manually to make sure you don't take much damage, but I'm just going to auto resolve it on easy for this example. Arbaal will get some movement back after the battle, and then you should be able to reach Karak Dum. If you're a little bit short, remove the hero from your army, and that should give you a little bit of extra movement. Bring up the Bloodhost to reinforce. I'd fight this battle manually, but I'm just going to auto resolve it here on easy. And then sack Karak Dum. Arbaal will get some extra movement after the battle, so you can use that to attack Karak Dum again and occupy it. Force march the Bloodhost as far as you can towards Tribe Slaughter. Recruit a third lord at Karak Dum. Now the Skull Harvester is built, you can recruit an exalted hero at Karak Dum as well, and recruit more units in Arbaal's army. We've earned 5 favor and unlocked Khorne's challenges, but you can just leave that for now. Turn 2, you can move your second army up to attack Tribe Slaughter. I put the difficulty back up to maximum, but you can see that the Chaos Warriors auto-resolve is really strong. However, we'll move the Bloodhost army and an extra lord in to make the battle a little easier. Then you can just auto-resolve the battle and sack the settlement. Arbaal can't make it to Fort Dorslav this turn, so just move Arbaal to the edge of Karak Dum, embed the hero into his army, recruit another lord at Karak Dum, and then recruit some more units with Arbaal's army. I'm researching additional units and movement for my Bloodhosts, as we'll have a ton of Bloodhosts later. Turn 4 and have my armies in position to get 2 guaranteed battles by sacking these nearby settlements, so I can activate my boons. Before I fight the battles, activate Bloodshell Spill, Honor Before Reason, and Storms of War. That'll cost me 5 favor. Then we sack both of the settlements. Because we have the boons on now, we get 3 favor from each of those battles instead of just 1, giving us enough favor to maintain the boons over the end turn. Only the main army actually gets the vigor penalty from Bloodshell Spill, so I'll keep the armies with most of the troops in as support armies, and I'll actually initiate the attack with just a solo lord, so only he's affected by the vigor penalty. Sack Tribe Slaughter for 3 favor, so we're back up to 4. Move the lords back into friendly territory to replenish over the end turn. Move this extra lord in to support Arbaal, also giving you 2 lords that can potentially get magic item drops instead of just 1. Stack this other settlement with Arbaal, get another 3 favor, and so now we're up to 7 total favor. We'll lose 5 again over the end turn, but as long as we have these 2 settlements, we're covered. We're automatically going to meet our requirements. Then you can just keep saving up more and more from extra actions that you do above these 2 sack cities. Recruit another lord at Karak Dum each turn and move them into position next to your sack cities until you have 4 lords on each one. Heavily armored Chaos Lords are pretty strong in auto-resolve. Once you have 4 lords on each settlement, you should be able to just auto-resolve the battles every turn. Arbaal can keep conquering. Next turn, Arbaal can sack Karak Vlag, get some more favor, sack your 2 sack cities, get more favor there as well. Arbaal can finish recruiting his full 20 stack, and then you can start looking for opportunities to teleport around to easy challenges, especially ones that are nearby other weak armies and settlements, so you can chain multiple battles off each teleport that Arbaal does, like we did in the Mazda Mundi example. You'll quickly be able to accrue heaps and heaps of favor doing those kind of easy battles. Then if you want, you can remove those boons that give you the penalties and replace them when you're ready with the boon that summons blood hosts from your battles. Then you'll quickly get more and more armies and start to just dominate, getting tons of battle money and favor every turn. Hopefully this gives you a pretty good overview of Arbaal's capabilities and a few tips to make your campaign go a bit smoother. I didn't cover any specific battle tactics in this video. If you do need any tips on any of these early battles, you can go and check out one of my Arbaal live streams and just skip through to that particular battle, see how I did it, if that helps. Thanks guys.